Well, good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for being with us for this third Ask Our Expert online conversation. It's not often that we have a head of state as an expert, so we are immensely proud to have you with us and most grateful to you. Our topic today is quantum leadership in times of pandemic. Quantum behavior is something you study as a theoretical physicist and practicing as a head of state. I recall that you presented this intriguing idea at a seminar of mine in Chamonix in September 2018. It was picked up by John Trondheim, the innovation editor of the Financial Times, who was also in Chamonix. He immediately wrote an article about it, and then the expression became viral. By quantum politics, you meant that the classical world of post-Newtonian physics, linear, predictable, even deterministic to some extent, had come to an end and was being replaced by the quantum world, highly uncertain and interconnected, incredibly complex, and also changing depending on the position of the observer.
What has changed clearly is the world, that this world is much more interconnected, much more interlinked, much more fast. And this is my observation or observation of some other people as well. Classical ways of development of this world, specifically the classical behavior of global risks has changed, and it has more and more the form of quantum behavior. The world has changed, and pandemic is something that will probably accelerate this transition from classical world to the quantum world. And I think this world definitely will not be the same that it was before the pandemic and after it. But the pandemic probably will last several months or maybe a year and a half until we'll not find a vaccine, or maybe it will come with another wave because it's quantum. Nobody can guarantee that it will not restart in China, although they are shown that quite an organization. But the world will be different. So it's the time for us to start learning that the world is changing, and in order to fight pandemic or the financial crisis or any other risk of this world, we have to start changing the way we live. But it's changing fast, it's unpredictable, it looks unpredictable if you look at the issue from the point of view of a classical change. But if you start thinking about this world as a quantum world, then you'll find logical ways of explaining things, predicting them, of course with a specific probability. This is a changing world. It's going to change much more faster than we even imagine. And we have to be ready to do that. And if we will start thinking, going back to the way we were before this coronavirus, then we'll be wasting time. It will come again as this virus, that virus, any other virus. It could be a virus on the World Wide Web, it could be a virus and a global hacking, and everything will stop. And it will be we have to start rethinking how this world is going to be run and take the lessons of that. In order to understand, we have to understand that it's not about the virus at all. Virus is something dramatic, virus is something tragic, it has already taken thousands and thousands of lives. Virus is something that any government, including my government, has to fight today, but the conclusion is that if we are only focusing as a virus and as just an accident that has happened now, it will never come back, then we are mistaken. This is the new world that we are going to live, and we have to be ready to face this world and to be ready for others. Every morning when I go to the top floor of my house, I look at Mount Ararat, I can see it much more clear, because the air in Yerevan has become much better, 2-3 times better than it was before. Why? People don't drive cars, they are mostly sitting at home, or even they drive when it's the necessity there. So this very sensitive, tragic event is also giving us a message that we can manage our lives with much less damage to the nature. Let's rethink about it. So the message of this tragedy to us humans is that why don't we think about resetting ourselves? Because if we don't do it, the world is changing, everything is going to change. Do you want to call it a new world, faster world, whatever name you will give it to this new world, it's not going to be the same as it was before. Not before the coronavirus, but before, let's say, 30, 40 years. So we better recognize that we're living in a new world. All of our activities, be that risks, be that politics, the way we run business, how we manage our relations with the nature, have to be changed. If we don't change it, we are going to hit another pandemic, this or that form. So the message is clear. We have to think it properly and really.